Meghan has identified herself as being 43% Nigerian. But in fact, DNA tests and genealogical evidence prove that Meghan Markle is a liar. I'm also going to talk about Meghan's recent business to see how pathetic she really is. So please join me in analyzing and learning more information. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Queen. Recently, Harry and Meghan were invited to come to Nigeria for a fake royal tour, and it just so happened to coincide with Harry's trip to the UK for the Invictus celebration. But what is more interesting is that Meghan Markle is declaring that she's 43% Nigerian. Well, I have analyzed this information, and based on Meghan's past, I can confirm that she completely lied about this. Okay, so as far as we know, Meghan's mom, Doria, was born in the U.S. Meghan's grandparents, Jeanette and Alvin, were born in Sandusky, Ohio, and South Carolina back in 1929. So her great-grandparents on the Markle side were Nettie Mae and James, and they were born in South Carolina in 1897 and 1909. Now, the late Gertrude Elizabeth and Hunter Allen, they were born in Georgia around 1882. So if her father is Irish, Dutch, or American, Meghan Markle cannot claim that she's 43% Nigerian. It makes no sense. All right, to understand this a little more clearly, let's use me as an example. Now, I come from a big family. I've got, I think, 53 first cousins. So when you count the first cousins once removed, the second cousins, their kids, and some uncles and aunts that are younger than nieces and nephews, and their nieces and nephews too, it is really difficult to even keep track of who is related to whom and how. But there's always been this idea that somehow in my family we have Turkish blood. So recently, I did a DNA test along with my sister and a few cousins too, and the results showed that yes, we do have blood from that region, but it doesn't even say Turkey because, like Nigeria, Turkey is a relatively new country made up of many different indigenous peoples. So the DNA test is going to show tribes, it's not going to show modern-day countries. And so we had to look up the peoples, both separate nomadic tribes that the test talked about before realizing that indeed, these peoples do come from what we now call Turkey. So because of this, and because we know Meghan Markle is a big fat liar, I call BS on this claim that she's 43% Nigerian. Because if that were even partially true, Meghan would have been given a statistics per tribe. And then she could have done a Google search to find out where that tribe was from, and then she could have said, okay, they were mostly from Nigeria. When her archetypes guest, though, asked what people she came from, she said she didn't know and she would have to look into it. But really, it would be the other way around if she were telling the truth. I mean, Meghan all of a sudden being Nigerian is ridiculous. That's like me all of a sudden declaring that I'm 100% Turkish and I gotta go visit my homeland. Now, of course, I would love to go to Turkey one day and I would love to see where my people came from, but it's probably never going to happen, and that's fine too. So back to Meghan. If she really were 43% Nigerian, then her mother would have to be 86% Nigerian. If you look at a drawing of Meghan Markle's family tree, with her ancestors going all the way back to the 19th century, you will see this is impossible. Now, on her mother's side, most are described as black, but it's not 100%. There are a few described as mulatto, which means they do have one or more white ancestors. So there is absolutely no way that Doria is 86% Nigerian. The fact is, most Black Americans Doria's age carry about 25% European ancestry anyway. And Doria probably has more than that 25%. When you look at her, you can see that she's got white features. Her skin is not very dark at all. We get DNA from both parents, but it's not equally distributed. If Doria is 75% African American and Thomas is 100% European, then Meghan would be about 50% various European nationalities. Now, I did see English and German and Dutch, and of course that came from her father. And then about 12.5% European from her mother, and that leaves us at about 63%. So to have 43% Nigerian DNA, Meghan Markle would have to have one parent who is basically full Nigerian. Doria is not that. And when you follow her ancestry line, you can see an all-European line pretty early on in American history. So that means that Doria is absolutely carrying more than that 25% European DNA, making Meghan a lot more European than she is African. I'm pretty sure even Doria doesn't have as much as 43% Nigerian heritage. Now, I do see Black Americans posting their DNA results in a few different subs, and usually it is a mix of West African countries and European countries. 43% of any one single African group, though, it seems really high, especially considering that she's half white. I mean, of course, she is more than half European because she's also got white ancestry on her mother's side, too. If Meghan Markle were 43% Nigerian, and I don't even believe that she's 43% African, that would mean that basically all her Black heritage is Nigerian, which I find incredibly hard to believe. So I also learned a little bit about our DNA. Our DNA is an artificially made DNA strand that's formed by the combination of two or more gene sequences. This new combination might or might not occur in nature, but it is engineered specifically for a purpose to be used in one of the many applications of our DNA. And this does not explain Meghan being 43% Nigerian. This would mean that all the base pairs in her chart are Nigerian, when of course that's not going to be the case. The possibility of Meghan being at all Nigerian is still incredibly low if you ask me. Now, DNA can be confusing to understand for many different reasons. I mean, we've got different skin color to talk about, eye color, eye shape, nose, hair color, texture. It's all just a part of the equation. So is height, blood, intestinal functioning, resting heart rate. I mean, there's a lot that goes into everything. And some of these differences are visible, most are not. Inheritance is also random. Ethnicities are not passed down evenly, and sometimes it looks like they're not passed down at all. These genealogy sites are also pretty smart. They are changing constantly as the algorithm learns more. They don't have a list of locations, and they don't base it on what your family tree says. Instead, it is based on how many people in a specific area share DNA with a person, and how much of that DNA they share. So if this 43% figure is right, it's more like she shares 43% of her DNA with people who are living in Nigeria right now who were also tested. So maybe Meghan should try and learn which tribe she actually comes from. Maybe she should learn about her heritage for once. Now, there are some DNA test companies that are based in Africa, and I guess they do specialize in African DNA. But Meghan Markle would have had to use those companies, use their sites or whatever. They're really expensive too. And an average African citizen doesn't have the money for things like that. So the facts are based on a very small sample of people. But I guess enough of a sample to help descendants of slaves figure out where they might have come from originally. Do you all know that show, Who Do You Think You Are? Did you ever see that episode with Blair Underwood? So on that show, they explained how Ancestry.com asked for volunteers in specific areas. So they did, I think, something like a single test for an entire city. So as the algorithm learns more and as more data is added, the numbers we see today can easily change the next. It's going to still be close, but the exact number is not going to be the same. Or what about those shows where these sites will tell identical twins that they have different genealogy? Well, unless Meghan sent off her DNA to somebody who breaks down the DNA the level they would for, I don't know, some type of archaeological study, then it's simply an estimate. It's not a definitive result. And maybe she should keep checking that profile because it's probably going to change. Another thing that makes me find this story unbelievable is that Meghan is claiming that she's 43% Nigerian. But I also remember Meghan had a guest on her podcast series who was Nigerian. And that's when she came up with this lie. She wanted to relate to the guest, I guess. She's such a narcissist and she just can't help herself with these lies. It is, after all, the best way for a narcissist to get control of a situation. I don't even think she's 43% Black, but still, here we are. And not only is Meghan a narcissist, but she's also delusional. I mean, come on, this claim that she's 43% Nigerian is ridiculous. She's no more Nigerian than I am, and she's certainly not royal either. She's not a good businesswoman. She's not really a mother. Everything Meghan Markle does is self-aggrandizement and delusion. I do wish that she would develop some self-awareness and finally look at herself and her own behavior and realize how toxic she is, but unfortunately, I don't think that's ever going to happen. Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit. I've got another equally good story about Meghan just to show how pathetic she really is. But before digging into the main topic, I want to ask all of you a question. Did you buy any jars of jam for yourself? Because these days I couldn't help but notice that strawberry jam is trending and people are rushing to buy a lot, so you better get it before it's all sold out. And it is a little bit related to the topic that I want to talk about today. So, as you probably know, Meghan Markle's first product was strawberry jam for this American Riviera Orchard brand. Now, this product is causing a lot of controversy, not surprising, and it was also sent to all of Meghan's favorite celebrity friends for PR purposes, of course. And I do wonder why she now has to lower herself, begging people to help her with her PR, when she's got almost everything she ever wanted because she married Harry, right? Before Meghan Markle met and married Harry, she was a nobody. She was a little-known actress who tried her best to succeed in Hollywood and failed. But her life changed forever when she married Harry. She was exposed to luxury that she could only dream of, and she met many important and famous people. And she didn't even need to do anything because she had her own staff to help her with everything. What could be more important than sitting beside the late Queen? What could be more important than the chance to meet and greet the most important politicians out there, to meet famous artists and personalities of the world as a senior working royal? What could be better than an opportunity to live and work in some of those beautiful palaces on earth, some palaces that are holding artifacts of the most amazing artists ever? What could be better than the opportunity to follow your passion and have a whole army of staff helping you, supporting you, advising you? Well, I guess in the case of Meghan Markle, it's become pretty clear. I mean, she left all of that behind so that she could become an influencer in Los Angeles and have to beg other people to show her jars of jam on their Instagram. See, Meghan Markle has been pissed off with her decision ever since they left. I think she and Harry tricked themselves into believing that they were going to get this half-in, half-out deal that they wanted, but the late Queen told them no, and there was no backup plan. Now, I think they have been in discussions with Disney and those other companies. They were basing their plans on this half-in, half-out scheme, but they didn't have any backup plan for what they were going to do if the Queen didn't agree to their plan. And that's why everything she has tried has been so pathetic. Obviously, Harry and Meghan are not very good at planning in the first place, and they severely miscalculated their importance. And so that threw them into a panic. And then when we add in Meghan Markle's spiteful, resentful nature, where she has to just clap back at every perceived injustice, well, we come to where we are today. Meghan maybe has won a battle, perhaps two, but she certainly lost the war. I'm skeptical of the story that Meghan and Harry left of their own accord. I think they were kicked out. And I've thought about this issue for a very long time. Meghan Markle is a California girl, 100%. California and Great Britain are really not all that similar, culturally speaking, and when it comes to the weather, certainly not. So, of course, Meghan Markle was going to be a bit bored living in Britain. She was. She doesn't care about history. She doesn't care about art. It's all really boring to her. She just cares about celebrity lifestyle. As for me, no, I'd be much more interested to live in Great Britain than I would California. I get sunburned really easily, so personally I'm fine with rainy weather and I'm a history buff. But Meghan hated it in the UK. She never planned to live there long term. She rebelled so that she could escape the constraints of the royal family. She claimed that the palace was way too restrictive and so racist too. So basically what we're seeing is one giant clapback. And of course, Harry and Meghan were told they needed to leave because they were completely useless as royals. They had no respect for other people, no respect for protocol. They were always mooching and grifting, showing up late, offending people. It is possible they were given a chance to change. Maybe they were told they needed to shape up or ship out. Well, obviously, they weren't willing to shape up. Remember, Harry claimed that they made a 25-page report refuting the bullying claims. So they were told it would be better if they left. And I think at Sandringham, William and Charles showed Harry proof of all Meghan's misbehavior, but Harry didn't believe it. And that's why he said that they told lies about Meghan Markle, and that's why William ended up being really frustrated. Harry was given the choice. He could stay with his family or he could go away with Meghan, and he decided to head for California with Meghan. There were so many disgusting things Meghan did, though, and Harry just supported all of them. There's a lot that we know about, but I've always thought there's something we don't know about, something big that happened at that garden party a few days after the wedding. Remember, they were told they needed to leave, and from there on out, her behavior just got worse and worse. So, when the Queen told Meghan that her services wouldn't be required anymore, Meghan insisted on dragging Harry with her to Canada. I'm guessing she threatened him, told him that he'd never see Archie again. Now, maybe the late Queen was fed up with the bullying. Maybe she was fed up with the leaked stories or the lies, or Meghan's refusal to follow protocol. Maybe the Queen was sick and tired of the secret media deals Meghan was making with Oprah. Maybe she was tired of all the blindsiding. And so, the phony couple had to leave. I can only imagine how bad things got, though, before they finally got fired. I do believe that everything in this life happens for a reason. And I think the way that we treat people, well, that affects the way that we're going to be treated. People who put out good energy into the world, people who are happy, cheerful, optimistic, treat people well, okay, they get that back. They get back a lot of love. They get back a lot of happiness. But on the other hand, people who are like Meghan, people who are narcissistic, only think of themselves, manipulate other people, use other people, chew them up and spit them out, well, they're going to have the same thing come their way, and usually they cannot handle it. So let's look at Meghan. Just suppose Meghan steps into the royal family and knows very well how to take advantage of her opportunities, how to develop good relationships with an authentic heart towards the royal family. Well, in that case, her life would have been amazing. But Meghan Markle chose a very difficult road for herself by trashing the royal family, walking away, and building an entire career with Harry in America out of trashing the royals. So now it's no wonder that her business affairs are not going very well. If she were successful with Netflix and Spotify, she wouldn't need to be selling jam. It is obvious at this point that none of Meghan Markle's business endeavors are making her any money. The contract with Netflix had a sign-on bonus and payouts according to what they produced. The cooking show, the polo show, they are producing themselves, and there's no guarantee that Netflix is even going to show these shows. Now, I don't think they're going to be picking anything up from the two of them. So again, more money that Meghan Markle is paying out with nothing coming back in. I would not say that Meghan is a very wise businesswoman. Pretty extreme miscalculation, I guess, but one that I'm laughing at, just because this is all down to Meghan's greed, laziness, and stupidity. I don't know about you, but I'm just munching on my popcorn watching this American Riviera Orchard brand fail. In fact, I think it's pretty funny. The funny thing to me, too, is that Meghan Markle struggles so much with launching and marketing when she can easily afford advisors and experts to do the job for her, but I guess it's just she won't listen to their advice. Somebody please tell me, what is the point of having celebrities talk about your stuff on Instagram when you can't even buy it? Is that not the ultimate goal when having products posted to start sales or increase sales? It took Meghan a long time to even do anything after this launch. It seems like she's pretty slow these days. She needs to realize, though, people forget easily. People move on incredibly quickly. I mean, even if she had people visiting the website or the Instagram page, what does that even mean? It tells us nothing about the products. You can't buy anything. You can't even buy the jam that she's been promoting. It hasn't even officially launched yet and already is a massive failure. I also don't understand why any celebrities would want to risk their reputations by getting involved with Meghan Markle. I will also say that she should know better. I mean, she can certainly afford advisors who are going to tell her how to make this business successful. But see, she knows everything already, so she won't listen to advice. I cannot understand, though, what she's even trying to do here. Jam is not a luxury item. It's pretty cheap, in fact. So maybe it's going to be organic jam that we're expected to buy. I don't know. But the product has no selling point. Meghan is going to fail. I mean, just think of all the ways in which she could screw up a simple label. Choose a bad color, a really ugly logo, some fake photography, the brand name wrapping around the sides, not even glued on the jar well, falling off in fact. The whole thing is so amateur. And the worst part is the jam inside looked disgusting. It did not look like something I'd want to put on my toast. One look at those photos and I'm pretty sure anybody would rather buy the jam available at their local grocery store. Megan is such a piece of trash, and she did have an opportunity to pretend like she's better than what she really is, but I guess old habits die hard. She is a grifter. She is a liar. She's a user. She's not a decent person. She's not kind or thoughtful or even honest. And now she's trying to act like jam is her new invention, the new exciting thing to buy. But she's using her husband's family title to do it. Do you know anybody who would buy anything just because Meghan Markle's name is slapped across the label? I would also say that Megan should probably try to take herself a little more seriously. I mean, she's almost 50 years old, and she can't act like this aggressive child her whole life. Now, the fact that she claims to be 43% Nigerian is an insane lie. Maybe she just said it because she was trying to connect to the people of Nigeria, but what a stupid thing to lie about. So, Megan, if she wants to be successful, then she needs to actually put in some hard work. She needs to realize that just being herself is not going to be enough. She should invest her money, her time in the quality and design of the products that she plans to launch. And if she can't do that, then this whole thing is a wasted attempt. So, what exactly are she and Harry going to do once they finally accept that being American royals is not going to work out? I don't know what they're going to do, but I'll tell you what they're not going to do, and that's come crawling back to the real royal family. All right, my friends, I hope the information I just shared is useful to you, and I would love to hear more about your opinions because they're so valuable. They truly do enrich our discussions, and they help us approach topics from different angles. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye for now, and I'll be back to see you soon in other videos on the Queen YouTube channel.